So today we're going over our budget for a family of 3, and it's not going to be as high tech as usual. Normally I record 2 full weeks out to give me a lot of time to edit, because animation is hard, y'all. But I am legit recording this the day before it's going live, so we're going to talk about low tech. But I'm a planner. I mean, everything I do is planned. I pretty much live my whole life planned out hour by hour. So why would I be recording the day before a video goes live? Because I never do that unless it's an in the moment kind of video, which usually embarrass me. Legit, the reason I'm doing this one is because I wasn't able to finalize my budget until this week when we finally figured out what Molina was going to do for school. What's the point of having a nervous breakdown on YouTube if I don't talk to y'all about how it ended up? Hi, I'm Wendy Valencia. My husband Mauricio and I have been budgeting for a long freaking time. Like, well over a decade. We've been married for 12 years now. 12? That's insane. Whew. So let's go ahead and dive into our budget. Our income this month is the same as it is every month, $11,455.40. So here in the Valencia household, we budget with fixed expenses and flexible expenses. The fixed expenses are the ones going into the month where we know exactly what something is going to cost. And it's not something that, we're going to overspend on. So we're talking like doctor's bills or the phone bill, or usually bills or expenses that are the same amount every single month. Our flexible expenses are those that we have an idea of how much we're going to spend, but we don't know exactly because every week groceries cost a different amount. So this month we have our fixed expenses being 61% of our income. So the first thing I need to deal with in this budget is the 11% that we are taking out of this budget to pay some bills from last month. And that was $1,294.05. So that was carrying over some childcare things that I needed to pay. I had apparently a SAC bill from when we first were in quarantine and shut down that I didn't realize I had paid in all the drama. So I had to pay that, and then we had a little bit more in August of the nanny expenses than we had intended to. The next item is our utilities category, and that is 4% of our budget for a total of $446.99. And that includes $270 for our storage unit, $170 for our cell phones, and $699 for our Skype. And the Skype is used for Mauricio to call his entire family down in Colombia. Then in the Molina category, we have a big old goose egg, and I will go over why the fixed Molina category is a big old goose egg when we get to the flexible Molina category. And then in 17% of our budget, we have our giving category, and that is $2,000 this month. And we don't discuss where we put our giving money, but know that it constitutes charitable giving and gift giving. So September is a big birthday month in my family, and there are gifts involved with that $2,000 as well. It's not all charitable giving, but a good chunk of it is. Then in the insurance category, for 3% of our budget, we have $312.47. And that is our USAA insurance for $173.01, our CMFG insurance for $12, my life insurance for $91.65, and Mauricio's life insurance for $35.81. And in 3% of our budget, we have our fixed transportation category, which is $290. And that's $90 for Mauricio's parking permit and $200 for gas for both of our cars. And I know you're thinking to yourself, shouldn't gas be inflexible? The $90 should definitely be fixed, But in theory, the gas should be flexible, but we're pretty close to $200 every month. And honestly, I don't really overspend on gas. So I'm not putting my gas money at risk down there in the flexible category. And in 1% of our budget, we have our medical expenses, and that is 100% Molina's telehealth bills for her sick child appointment and then some medicine refill appointments that were also telehealth. So that bill is coming up and I need to take care of it. And then for 9% of our budget, we have our short-term savings, which is $1,000. And that is spread across multiple savings funds to include Christmas and a trip to Colombia and a lot of other stuff. I think there's like 7 or 8 of them at this point. I actually have a whole video coming up on our short-term savings funds, how we do it and how to do it in general. And that is coming up on the 14th of September. So be on the lookout for that. And I'll talk about all of ours. And at another 0%, we have our spending money for $0 because we're not really spending anything. We can't go anywhere and we can't do anything. At 1% of our budget, we have our subscriptions, and that is a total of $61.89. So we're talking Google storage for $9.99, Audible, my favorite thing in the whole world, besides Mauricio and Melina, of course, for $14.95, $3.99 for Amazon Music, $12.99 for Netflix, $4.99 for Roblox, $4.99 for Circle Go, and $9.99 for Apple Music. In 2% of our category, we have $250 for laundry. And this will be the last time that you see us paying someone to do our laundry. This is a constant source of drama in my household because nobody really wants to pay it. But we also don't want to put my parents at risk. So I am conceding defeat on this one because I legitimately don't want to pay the money either. And we are going to only be doing laundry with masks, and we will clean down the machine with bleach wipes as soon as we're done. I don't like the fact that we are mingling in my parents' space at all, not during this time, but we can't continue with this. We need to focus again. So it is a risk, but it's a risk we're going to deal with, and my parents were the ones who actually suggested it. In 11% of our budget, we have our debt category, and that is $1,250 to our Navy Federal Credit Union debt. And so probably in October, November, probably closer to November-ish, we are going to start paying Tio and Tia's loan as well. And the reason for that is honestly, we're slacking, and we know we're slacking, and we're tired of it. So what we are planning on doing is moving those from Sallie Mae into a loan in our names. And we're going to put it in one lump sum, and it's going to have a big payment. And that is just going to force us to put more money to debt. And as y'all know, I'm not opposed to taking on more debt when really it's already debt we have. It's just moving debt to a different debt. Moving it over to Navy Federal, one, puts it under Mauricio's name, makes it a lot easier for us to pay. And two, it gets paid off faster, and we get a much, much, much better interest rate. Not that the interest rate is going to really have that much of effect at this point. And in Mauricio's tuition at 0%, we are not paying anything on his school this month because we paid it all last month. And for us right now, our budget is 0% for long-term savings, and long-term savings would be long-term. Like retirement or, wealth building savings, those kind of things. So the reason that is at 0% is because, as you all know, I am contributing to my retirement, but that comes off of our paychecks at the top. So we don't actually see that as it's leaving our bank account because it never really makes it into our bank account, which, if I got to give you one tip about building wealth, do that. Never see the money. If it just goes somewhere that you don't even think about, you're going to end up building a lot more wealth a lot more quickly because you're not even going to think about it. And in our flexible category, which is 39% of our budget, we have, of course, our food budget, which is set right around $800-ish, so 7% of our overall spending for the month. And we've done a pretty good job getting it back down to $800, which is, the target. And while this budget is for a family of 3, we actually feed a family of 5 on $800 because my parents do operate with their own budget, but we do the cooking, all the cooking, and we buy the majority of the food. My parents do pay for the Costco run. And then if we order takeout or anything, my parents pay for that generally. We do have $250 in the clothing budget, and that's 2% for Molina. And I am totally doing that because about 3 days ago, she started complaining about her legs hurting. And every time she does that, it means she's going to grow. And then we have $250 in the miscellaneous category, which is about 2% also of our budget. And that is $150 for COVID masks for work. And then we also have $100 in there for whatever comes up. Like last month, it was slime supplies because we bought, I'm not even exaggerating, 2 gallons of glue, 1 white glue and 1 clear glue. And then all of these borax things and glitter. And we have so much slime in our house. It's slimy. And then we have 2% for medical at $250. And so now we're going to talk about why we have 2 medical categories. And that is because down here we have appointments that I have no clue how much they're going to cost. The first appointment is Melly has a consultation with an orthodontist. Belly's going to need braces. There is no doubt in anyone's mind. Our dentist has already told her. So maybe you remember Molina had alien teeth. So she had 6 teeth. She had 2 baby teeth, her regular 2 front teeth, and then she had 2 alien teeth up in the palate of her mouth that were preventing her regular teeth from dropping. Well, so we took the alien teeth out. Well, we didn't. There was a surgeon. It was a thing. But they're not dropping. The roots that formed did not form correctly because the alien teeth inhibited the root formation, and Melina doesn't know any of this, so I'm trying to keep it down. But we got to go talk to an orthodontist to see if there's going to be another surgery involved, or if we should just sit back and wait and they will eventually descend, or what. But I don't know how much that appointment's going to cost, so I put in $100, hoping it won't cost more than that because we do have dental insurance. And then we also need to get flu shots for all 3 of us for $150. Also in September, we are taking a little tiny road trip. For 9% of our budget, we have $1,000, and that is going to be pure hotel, and we are going to go out to the beach. We only live about 2 hours from the ocean here, and Molina has been dying to go to the beach. And we had a beach trip planned associated with FinCon out in Los Angeles. We were going to spend time at the beach. We were going to go to Disney. It's a whole thing. And then when we canceled FinCon, Molina was not a happy camper. So we decided to go ahead and plan a beach trip. So in our last category, we have 17% in the Molina category for $1,900. So I know you're wondering why we have 2 Molina categories, one fixed and one flexible. Well, this month, all of Molina's expenses are flexible because we don't have a clue how much they're going to cost. So let me explain. First, we're planning about $200 for school supplies. And in the Valencia household, school supplies don't mean just pens and pencils and erasers. School supplies also include a first day of school outfit, a backpack, a lunch bag, a little pencil case, what have you. It's all the cutesy stuff and the stuff that really matters to Molina as well, in addition to spiral bound notebooks. So we planned about $200 for that. And then we have $1,500 for SAC. And I cannot tell you how elated that we were to actually get into SAC this year. I can't. It was, when I got the email that they were offering SAC, it came at exactly the right moment. I was feeling particularly hopeless about what we were going to do. I had resigned myself to paying nanny, and Mauricio and I were going back and forth between expensive private school and nanny, but the expensive private school meant a full year commitment, where the nanny meant like maybe a couple of months, and it would be much more flexible expense wise. But SAC came out about 10 days ago and announced they were offering SAC, and I seriously almost cried. So Mauricio and I decided immediately that if we could get into SAC, that's what we needed to do. And so we committed like hardcore to getting into SAC. The day that they were opening, they opened up at 8. I was on the phone at 6, 7, 7:30, 7:45 to see if they opened up the lines. The lines were supposed to open at 8. Starting at 7:50, Mauricio and I were calling in, letting it ring through to voicemail, hanging up, and just keeping doing that over and over and over. And I was on the English speaking line. Mauricio was calling in from his cell phone on the Spanish speaking line, and then we were calling in from the home phone onto the English speaking line. And we didn't know which one would get us through first, the English speaking or the Spanish speaking, so we decided to hedge our bets that they would have more English speakers answering the phone than Spanish speakers, and the wait would be less. So that's why we did 2 English speaking lines and 1 Spanish speaking line. So at 7:59, the phone started ringing through, and by 8:02, we had her registered for SAC. It was like the biggest weight off of my shoulders. And we expect it's going to be about $1,500-ish a month. And while that's still a lot of money, it's a lot less than the $3,000 to $4,000 we were already looking at for the school year. And once they go back to school, that cost will go way down, back down to about the $650, $700 that it is for before and after care. And so what they're going to do is they're going to have little 10 kid pods that will go in, they'll learn together, and they're going to do distance learning on their laptops there at the SAC program. And they'll have, for each 10 kids, they'll have 2 adults that will be there to assist them. And oh goodness, I know it's going to be okay. She's not excited about distance learning, but she's excited about being in class in her same school and having one of her very best friends in class with her. And then the last $200 is for ice skating, because she is working on becoming a really good ice skater. I'm like super, super proud of her. She really is enjoying ice skating, and I'm totally okay with investing the money into something she loves. So if you are interested in signing up for my newsletter, I actually update you on other things that I don't talk about on YouTube and I don't talk about anywhere else. I usually don't talk about them on my blog either. I'll put the link for the newsletter down in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one.